We are the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. It's Indiana in the Morning. We're brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank. And remember, our interviews are presented and protected by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. With us this morning, we're going to speak with Jody Rainey, who's the president of the Heritage Conference. Jody, good morning and welcome to Indiana in the Morning.
Good morning, Chuck.
Football season has just wrapped up for the Heritage Conference, and the problem that you're going to face next year, losing Ligonier Valley as they go to the WPIAL, it seems that there has been a solution, at least for the next 2 years, concerning a school that will come in and play football against conference teams for the next 2 seasons. And tell us about that and how that all came to be.
Well, that's true, Chuck. And how that came to be was when Ligonier made it known that they were seeking their release from the Heritage and from District 6 to pursue an opportunity with the WPIAL. I had opportunity to have a discussion with Lori Ratchford, who's the principal at Bishop Carroll. And I know that since they've departed in football only, the Laurel Highlands Conference, they've been playing independent schedule in the Mountain League, and they have not been very competitive in playing teams that are a lot larger than they are, and they haven't had a lot of success. So I knew that they were seeking some different opportunities potentially, and so when we had we obviously all 9 remaining teams of the Heritage Conference need an independent game. So we began discussion with Bishop Carroll, and we came to an agreement where for 2 years where we would play them, they would fill the spot on the schedule as an independent program to play all 9 of our conference teams in football only. So that's how it came about, and so we feel pretty good about the agreement. We feel that filled the need for us as the Heritage Conference to, in a short-term solution, as I said, because it's a 2-year agreement, and also provides us a more competitive game. And I think it's a good deal for Bishop Carroll because the same is it provides them a competitive schedule as well. I do think it's important, though, as I was saying to you off air, Chuck, that they are not a member of the Heritage Conference. Bishop Carroll is not. It is an independent program. They will remain independent. It just fills a need that both the Heritage Conference and their school had. And there are 2 clauses that are important as well. One is if we, the Heritage Conference, gain an application and accept another school as a full member, and they have a football program that could begin play as early as 2021, then we can void that agreement and fulfill the need then obviously for our new member if we secure one. The other one is if we expand and develop a partnership with, say like the Westpac, another league like we have currently, and or a new league that may want to partner with us or with Bishop Carroll, they have an opportunity to join a conference and find a more stable schedule for their program, then either party can void that agreement as early as 2021. So for next year, 2020, we're definitely playing Bishop Carroll, and then that buys us all a little bit of time to see where it goes. If after the 2-year period, and let's say that we're still playing Bishop Carroll, and they have the need, and we still continue to have the need, then we can renew that agreement. It doesn't automatically renew. We would have to have discussion and renew it at that time.
Are there any prospects about finding a current team to join the Heritage Conference at this time?
We've had some very informal inquiries, but nothing formal as of yet. But what I've said, and we've talked about at length at some of our conference meetings, has been, this deal does, again, it's only for football, and it does give us some time then to kind of, maybe look at and pursue certain schools that we think might be a good fit for our conference. It also gives us a chance to really analyze a lot of different data sets that we can gain before we would just take anybody that would want to become a member. So right now we do not have anybody lined up or we're not in any real strong negotiations or discussions with anyone at this time. But that can always that can change pretty quickly, though, too. So right now, though, we do not.
Speaking with us this morning, Jody Rainey, the president of the Heritage Conference, as they will fill the void left by the departure of Ligonier Valley with a 2-year agreement for Bishop Carroll to play the Heritage Conference teams in football only. Now, Jody, as far as PIAA classifications are concerned, what will be Bishop Carroll's class when they play next year?
They will be Class A. Looking at the projected numbers, and we just had to submit those to PIAA about a month ago, and we've gotten back some, unofficial numbers. What it looks like for football for our conference next year is Marion Center will remain AA. Northern Cambria actually will move from single A to double A next year, in the next 2-year cycle. And then West Shamokin actually will move from double A down to single A. The preliminary numbers they're giving us is 129 males would put your program into, that's the cut line for single A. So 129 is single A, 130 would be double. West Shamokin came in at 129 males. So they would be single A in football as the numbers stand right now. Today, Bishop Carroll would be single A, just slightly, maybe 2 students larger than Salzburg, who would be our smallest single A team at 63, I believe, or 64 males.
Did you run into any opposition? Of course, Bishop Carroll, one of those, Catholic schools that's able to go out in the area and bring in students and athletes. Was there much resistance when the idea of adding Bishop Carroll to the schedule?
No, I mean, we had that discussion, and I think it's important to note 2 things. Number one, this is not the Bishop Carroll of 1990s. They've been on hard times in their football program for several years now. And I think that the 2-year agreements give us some protection if we feel that that's the move that's starting to make. I think that's not going to happen. I think we can be competitive. The second thing is with the PIAA and the new transfer rules, where if a student is a junior or senior and transfers, then they could be eligible for regular season, but they're not eligible for postseason play unless they gain a waiver, which, being on the District 6 committee, those waivers are not very easy to come by. You need to have a very compelling hardship, and you have to really present the documents, the facts, the points. You can't just say something. You have to be able to back that up with some source of evidence, for a lack of a better word. So I think that, the new transfer rules have really helped alleviate a lot of those previous issues that a lot of people believe exist. And so I'm not, we discussed it. I'd say, I wouldn't say at length, but we certainly did have those discussions, and we all felt comfortable that with the 2-year deal and with the clauses that are in part of the agreement, that we felt that provided the necessary, for lack of a better word again, protection for the members of our conference.
This is good news for your football schedules, but what about basketball? You still lose Ligonier Valley. Are you trying to find a replacement for the basketball season?
No, we talked about that. Obviously, this year, Ligonier is still a member of our conference till the end of, obviously, this school year. And so some of the sports, such as basketball, if we do not find another a team, then what you'll probably see is we'll still maintain like our championship, which has been one of the premier athletic events in our region, is our basketball championships at the KCAC. What you'll find is we'll probably go back to eliminating section, and everybody in the conference will play each other 2 times across, so that would give us in basketball 16 games, and then we would take the top 4 and they would advance on to the semifinals and then eventually the championships at the KCAC. So, we've had that discussion. And again, we may find another school between now and then, but if not, then, we've run our league for years before West Shamokin came on with 9 teams. And we feel that, we can confidently do that and provide the competition and, the excitement that we're trying to build in the Heritage Conference. The only thing that's really changed since West Shamokin's come on board is we divided basketball and volleyball and some other sports into 2 sections to come up with a championship format. We would just go back to everyone being in one section and then just take the top 4 or the top 2, depending on the sport, for the championship series.
Basketball will tip off in a couple of weeks. Do you have another media day scheduled for the upcoming weeks before the season starts?
We do. Our media day will be December the 3rd at the KCAC. It'll be a media day breakfast. It'll begin at 9:30. We're hoping that, we do appreciate the media coming out, especially you guys at Renda. Chuck, you guys have always been very generous of, promoting not only our conference events, but also recognizing and promoting the kids that are within it, because obviously, that's the most important thing, and that's central to our mission, is to provide those opportunities, enriching and positive experiences for students. So, we do appreciate all of our media partners, and you, at Renda, have always been very gracious, and we do appreciate that very much.
Jody, your thoughts on the football season that was just completed in the Heritage Conference? I know it has to go down as another successful year.
It did, for sure. And, and I do think that, one of the things I say all the time, every conference and every league has their strong teams and, sometimes teams that struggle, and that usually does cycle. I would say that our Heritage Conference, be it football, obviously we crowned a state volleyball champion in Northern Cambria, Class A state champions. I think that you'll find year in and year out, regardless of what the sport is, that the Heritage Conference is always at least competing for district championships and a lot of times moving on into state-level competition. I just think it speaks volume not only of the students that we have in our member schools in the Heritage Conference. I think it speaks volumes about, obviously, the level and the quality of coaching that our students receive. And also, I think it talks a lot about our parent support for those programs and those kids, and also the school districts, the boards, and the administrators who support them. I think our football season was very successful. I think it was very competitive. I mean, obviously, Ligonier has been the class for 4 years running champions.
Jody Rainey joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning.